Go For It Independent Travel Training Project now runs a scheme called Titan in a number of schools. Titan stands for Travel Independence Training Across the Nation. It is a structured way for schools to teach young people the skills they need to develop independence. Independence can be something as simple as a young person being able to get from their classroom to reception, or being able to ask a question of somebody, right through to being able to catch a bus to and from school or college. You will now hear from a deputy head of a pupil referral unit about their experience of using the Titan scheme.
My name is Tracy LeCointe. I'm the deputy head of Woden's Rise Pupil Referral Unit. We have been here in Wednesbury now for 4 years, and we serve students who attend mainstream school within the north of the borough. So we serve the 5 main schools in the north of the borough. The students that we work with here at Woden's Rise are from a range of towns within the north of Sandwell. Some are from across the borders just into Walsall. So once a child is placed at Woden's Rise, some will have quite a journey to make to come into the PRU for their weekly education. The main aim of the students being here is for us to really look at behaviour, to do some intensive work while they're here, but the main aim is for them to return to school. It's often the school from which they came, but sometimes they will be travelling to a school within another borough across the borders, or just in another part of Sandwell. So it's important that they have good travel skills and that they're confident in travelling across the borough safely. I think travel has been an issue for some of our students. Many are not used to travelling independently, and coming to a place like Woden's Rise for some is the first time that they've actually had to take responsibility for their journey into school, into a part of the borough that they're not familiar with travelling. So for some, it is really a big issue. We've been involved with Titan now for the last 6 months. Initially, our involvement with Angelina and her team was looking at how we could fund a small project for us to take students into the Birmingham area. It was a very successful intervention where we took 6 or 7 young people into Birmingham on a metro in order for them to have the opportunity to go to a train station, to buy the tickets for themselves and to make that journey into Birmingham. For some, it has been the first time they've travelled that far into the city. We've then run programmes subsequently where students have travelled both by train and by metro, and really just taken more responsibility for organising and planning the journeys before they have gone into those areas. The Titan programme was very well structured. It came with a whole wealth of resources which we found very easy to use and to slot into our curriculum and into what we were doing. We've now actually made the Titan programme, or the travel programme as we call it, as a termly activity which we run routinely for all students. So all students attending the PRU will have the chance to experience planning, organising and taking a journey into town, either by bus or by train. The resources are there for us to accredit the students for various parts of their planning, and it was very straightforward and easy to use, something which the students and staff really enjoyed. I believe that because of the Titan programme, the children at Woden's Rise now feel a lot more confident about the prospect of travelling to a new school, whether that be across the borough or into an area in which they're not familiar, and that really is down to the programme and what it's taught the children. I would wholeheartedly recommend the Titan programme. We work with children who are very challenging children, but we have found that it's a programme that they enjoy, they like going out, and the skills almost teach themselves because there is so much willingness to engage within the programme. From a staff point of view, it's not only a fun project or a fun afternoon, but it can also be instrumental in helping the students improve their attendance within their next setting and within their next school. Some of our students do have a history of antisocial behaviour. Our local community police tell us that that is an issue, particularly with young people. So one of the things that we were able to address while on these journeys were looking at incidences of antisocial behaviour or evidence of antisocial behaviour along the metro lines, at train stations and bus stations, and students even had the chance to speak to conductors and bus and train drivers about the impact of this on a journey. So I think it just made them a little bit more aware as to the consequences sometimes of their actions. Now that our students are so much more confident about travelling and making journeys alone, it also increases the options as to where they can take up a new place at a new school, or indeed where they can actually start an alternative programme. Many of our providers aren't linked within the local vicinity, so now that they are able and have completed the programme, I feel confident and quite safe for them to take up public transport, knowing they're going to reach there safely, knowing that they are able to follow a timetable and to make those journeys really safely.
My name's Ben Nielsen. I'm a Learning Support Assistant here at Woden's Rise Peru, and I've been here for about 2 or 3 months, and while I've been here I've been involved with the Titan Travel program. Found it to be pretty successful. Well, it was all quite nicely set up. Obviously we're also using OCN's travel unit as well, and we used Titan as well, and it was fantastic. We had your resources. We used the DVDs and the worksheets and that kind of thing, you know, coming up to the trip. So obviously that was part of a slow build-up over 2 or 3 weeks, and then everything kind of flowed quite nicely when it culminated into the trip. The thing that we found with the Titan Travel program was that it was really easy to implement. There wasn't really too much paperwork. It all went quite streamlined, and the best thing was that we were able to customise it to really suit our agenda and our trip, so it all worked out quite nicely, really. One of the good things about, you know, going out and experiencing this was that the children, you know, loved a bit more responsibility.